Just ahead on CTV News.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but fear not. The State Highway Administration has some gifts for you. I'm Noel James, and coming up on CTV News, you'll have all the details.
A shocking revelation from the state related to cannabis use and emergency department visits. I'll tell you those details coming up.
Plus, Simon Buggs has our Thursday sports page. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for December 5th. I'm Mariah Jalad. Thanks for joining us. A house fire on the 52nd block of Varnum Street in Bladensburg leaves one woman dead and 3 others displaced. Police responded to a report of a woman trapped inside of the ablaze house just after 4:30 p.m. yesterday. This fire is the 23rd structure fire in the past 30 days in Prince George's County. Here are some of the hazards that Prince George's County Fire and EMS want residents to be aware of this holiday season.
Christmas is coming up. Christmas trees, a natural Christmas tree, it's a beautiful thing, not knocking it, but you have to keep them wet. All right, they have a bowl on the bottom that you fill with water. That's for the tree. It's not for the dog, it's not for the cat, it's not for the kids to play in. Please make sure you keep them wet. Those trees, when they become dry, they go up like a torch. Another thing is candles. This time of the year, candles, they smell nice, they're beautiful. I know a lot of people love them. That has the smell of the holidays, but you have to remember that is an open flame. You have to think about if that gets hit, if that gets knocked over, what's it going to come in contact with? Dogs bang into things and knock them over, kids bang into things and knock them over, cats like to jump on things and knock them over. So please, please just be careful. Please do not try to play firefighter. Please do not risk your life. If you at any point think this is dangerous, I am in mortal danger, get out. And once you get out, stay out.
PGFD plans on releasing the deceased woman's identity and cause of death after the autopsy is completed. And though we're still a couple weeks away from the official first day of winter, a cold front passing through the area could be bringing us a wintry mix. A wind advisory will be in effect today until 6 p.m. with the possibility of broken tree limbs and power outages. According to the National Weather Service, the state will see sustained winds between 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And with the arrival of that Arctic air, the State Highway Administration is showcasing its readiness to address the coming winter season. CTV's Noel James is at the State-of-the-Art Operations Center for its annual snow show with the details.
To quote the Queen of Christmas, it's time! If you have been outside, you truly know that winter is here. The State Highway Administration is also taking no chances, from infrared road pavement sensors to these double-winged snow plows. The administration will be showing off their arsenal in this year's annual snow shows. To avoid slippery starts like these, the State Highway Administration is getting a head start this winter season. From their newly renovated state-of-the-art operations center to their double-winged snow plows fitted with rubber slates and brine tanks to infrared road sensors. In the front lines, we caught up with Eon Thomas, a snowplow operator, during his safety checks.
We will pre-treat the roads with like salt brine. Sometimes we may put magnesium on the truck as well, just to make the salt a little bit more sticky. Then once it applies to the road, it stays there, keeps the road warm from freezing.
To increase efficiency, the plows themselves were updated with rubber slates.
From what I've learned is the metal plows were also damaging the road and pretty noisy. With the rubber plows that we have now, it reduces like the shock. So like if you were to go over a bridge joint, it doesn't shake the truck.
In an effort to remain safe, Thomas and the rest of the administration urge people to be safe, and the safest place to be is off the roads in a snowstorm. But if you absolutely have to drive, the safest place for you to be is behind the plows as they treat the roads. Do not pass them and watch your speed. State Highway Administrator William Pines also introduced some new measures to help motorists.
We know that communicating to the public before, during, and after winter storms is vital to keeping everyone safe. That's why we've partnered with the Ways Connected Citizen program so that residents and communities can communicate about our roadway conditions.
So, it's definitely going to be cold outside, but the Maryland Department of Transport is making sure that you're safe. From Hanover, this is Noel James for CTV News.
Thank you, Noel. And for more safety information, visit roads.maryland.gov. And the leader of the House Judiciary Committee announced he would be stepping down, opening the position up for Maryland Representative Jamie Raskin. Raskin put his name into the ring for the position, saying he would make the committee a strong force in fighting authoritarianism under the incoming Donald Trump administration. Raskin will now likely take over as head of the committee, replacing Jerry Nadler, a representative from New York. The decision reflects a shift in the Democratic Party, which is eager for generational change and a new approach after major losses in the last election. And the incoming Republican administration has raised dozens of questions for those in federal agencies. But one of the biggest questions on Marylanders' minds is the fate of the new FBI building. The Greenbelt site was selected more than a year ago, but with Donald Trump back in the White House, the funding to the agency that would build the facility could end. Republican lawmakers could also restart the site selection process or just select the location themselves, with suggested locations including staying in the district or moving as far as Alabama. Maryland lawmakers still believe the Greenbelt site is the best choice, but for now, its fate is uncertain. And 'tis the season of giving, but before you open your wallet, don't get wrapped up in scams that can turn your holiday cheer into a Grinchy nightmare. The Maryland Attorney General's office is unwrapping some important tips to help you spot fake charities and holiday scams. Before you spread the joy, they say to check for red flags like pressure to donate immediately or suspicious links in emails and texts.
The problems that we see is that there are people who contact you that say that they're with a charity and they refuse to provide you with information. And unfortunately, it's not always a real charity. For that reason, we advise people to make sure that you check out anybody that you think is a charity and ask them to send you information in the mail, or if they're coming door to door, to give you information that you can review before you make a decision to do a donation. In addition, sometimes there are charities that are very similar names to real charities and have similar causes, but they're not real. So you need to make sure that the charity that you're looking at is a real charity.
So as you share the spirit of giving, be sure your generosity doesn't fall into the hands of a scammer this holiday season. Well, a shocking and dangerous revelation from the state after the legalization of recreational marijuana use for adults. CTV's Michaela Newton joins us in the studio. Michaela, what can you tell us?
Well, that's right. The Maryland Department of Health announced the launch of a new tool to help navigate the public health impacts of cannabis use. And this comes after the state has seen an increase in cannabis-related emergency department visits. Now, according to data from the state, cannabis use among Maryland youth had been declining before the legalization of adult use cannabis on July 1st of 2023. So take a look at some of these numbers here. In contrast, there was a slight increase in cannabis use among adults, rising from 9% in 2021 to 11.7% in 2022. Now, recent data from the dashboard shows a significant increase in emergency department visits related to cannabis use. And the most notable rise, nearly 44% from 2022 to 2023, was observed among individuals aged 20 to 29. Now, the Maryland Cannabis Public Health Dashboard features data on the following. So emergency department visits, youth and adult use, and then calls to the Maryland and DC Poison Center's substance use services utilization. Now, I actually spoke with Dr. Georges Benjamin from the American Public Health Association about the spike.
It's not surprising that when you have more people using a mind-altering substance, that you're going to have a range of untoward, unanticipated health events that result in going into emergency departments. And I think now what you do from a public health perspective, you have a very broad public health education campaign.
Reporting in studio, I'm Michaela Newton for CTV News. Back to you.
Thank you, Michaela. Additionally, calls to poison centers have surged, especially among those under the age of 20. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Mariah Jalad. Coming up, students at the University of Maryland are learning about philanthropy in a new program. Find out how after the break.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick, on and off the field. We were taught to not show any signs of weakness. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. I thought that something was wrong with me. For 20 plus years was physical. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father, as a man, and as a husband. Put the importance on your mental health. I'm not scared to talk about it anymore. The first tool is therapy. The second one is positive self-talk. And then journaling, putting your thoughts on paper. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
I tell my son, I love you every single day.
I love you.
Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Welcome back. Yesterday, we reported members of AFSCME, an organized labor union, called for safer working conditions and higher staffing levels after its state center discovered Legionella bacteria. Today, state office buildings in Baltimore's State Center complex are once again ordered to close temporarily as Legionella bacteria continues to pose a threat in the water system. The bacteria can lead to severe respiratory illnesses, including pneumonia, according to the CDC. And an audit finds that Maryland's Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services failed to manage contractors that provide medical and mental health care to state prisoners. That resulted in hundreds of missed evaluations for suicide risk, a shortage of mental health exams, and other issues. The report even questioned whether the state's prisons contracts were structured to benefit companies without actually confirming that they were providing services. As for DPS, its leaders pushed back on some of the audit's claims, but agreed to most of the recommendations or said issues had already been addressed. And a new Maryland law will change requirements for businesses that employ people as security guards, requiring them to be officially licensed by January 1st. Any business that employs people for security services or loss prevention will have to be designated as a security guard employer and then register online and submit applications for all of those employees. The State Police Licensing Division will be offering training sessions for the process in the coming weeks, but for more information, contact the Professional Licensing Unit. And some students dream of a career in philanthropy, but at the University of Maryland College Park, some students got the chance to collaborate like actual philanthropists. The I Give program gives incoming freshmen the opportunity to propose a grant for an issue that means the most to them. This semester, 45 students decided to gift more than $7,000 to the Immigrant and Refugee Outreach Center of the DMV. CTV was at their award ceremony and spoke with the program professor.
For me to work with first-year students when they arrive in college and really watch them, transition from high school students to college students right before my eyes. And it's super exciting and It's a great opportunity. What I'll say about this class that's different than the classes before is being in an election year where they're being very exposed and have for quite some time now to very polarized politics and thinking about public policy, being very, very polarized. And this group, unlike my past students, really rejected the idea of making either-or decisions. They wanted to have conversation and dialogue instead of debate.
And tune in tomorrow to hear from some of the students who contributed to the grant proposal. And the Maryland Board of Education rules to update its policies on charter school funding to keep up with the changes under the Blueprint for Maryland's Future. The ruling says local boards of education must calculate funding for charter schools that is in proportion with funding for public schools. The school systems must also negotiate in good faith to provide central services to the charter schools. The State Department of Education will be working on official recommendations regarding charter school funding regulations in the coming months. And a Bowie State student receives a coveted scholarship from a telecommunications company. Taylor Payton, a senior at Bowie State University, is one winner of AT&T's 2024 Rising Future Makers Showcase. The program recognizes 25 students from historically Black colleges and universities for the impact they've made on their community and school campus. Payton, along with the other recipients, will receive a $5,000 scholarship. The winners will also receive a 5G tablet and will get professional mentorship from an alumni of an HBCU.
While applying for the award, I looked at what we'd be graded on, and what we were graded on is impact and what we did on campus. And I think what really made me stand out is that I recently, earlier this year, won a pitch competition where my team went to Southern California to compete for $40,000. And we sold our business venture to Experian. So that definitely did make me stand out, as well as meeting Kamala Harris my sophomore year of being president of our organization for 2 years. So I think that's some things that probably made me stand out.
Through that program, Payton will be traveling to Dallas to attend a mentoring event later this month. And still to come on CTV News, a popular DC restaurant has come to Prince George's County. If you're not too chicken, I'll tell you how to get your hands on a menu item after this short break.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma. Not at birth.
With macular degeneration, you lose your central vision.
You have a blind spot right in the center of your face, so I can't actually see your face.
So even that little circle in which I could see became a big blur.
I was 65 when I first was diagnosed with glaucoma.
There were no symptoms. I had no headaches.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
You lose mobility, independence, changes your entire life.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
My husband tells me that I have beautiful brown eyes, and I don't want to lose that.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
Diversity is in our nature. It is in nature, too. Biodiversity. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk more than ever before, and the future of all life is in our hands. So what will you do? Love it or lose it?
It is so hot out today, but I'm about to get this hike in, and I just had to show you the view. Beautiful.
Yo, you should come out here. We came outside to unwind.
Oh, wow.
What's the laptop? Transmission.
We outside, come find us.
The Prince George's Health Department announces a new transition with its medication-assisted treatment services. Starting March 31st, the department will add nearby healthcare providers as additional medical access for residents. Patients' medical records can now be transferred to local facilities to start or continue treatments. The shift is a part of the department's strategy to enhance public health services within the county through partnerships. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture has a new public health alert for a specific holiday snack. The department's Food Safety and Inspection Service put out an alert for Yummy Dino Buddies holiday nuggets. Inspection personnel determined the product was not presented for an import inspection. As of now, there are no confirmed reports of illness from the product. Anyone who has purchased the nuggets are asked to dispose of them immediately. And if you're a fan of the D.C. restaurant chain Roaming Rooster, you no longer have to travel to the district to satisfy your craving. The Black-owned restaurant known for its chicken sandwiches has opened its first location in Prince George's County. The restaurant opened its doors today at Woodmore Town Center in Glenarden with a line of hungry customers down the block.
I never heard about it until it came right here, but I tried some the other day and it's like really good. I tried a hamburger, no, not a hamburger, one of the sandwiches.
It was good?
Yeah, it was good.
Rated like 1 through 10?
1 to 10, like an 8, and the fries was good too, nicely seasoned.
If they have like a Nashville hot or like something with coleslaw in it, yeah, I want to try that.
Not all of them are making it, that's all I know, but I'm making it.
The first 100 customers there today got their chicken sandwich on the house. And Maryland will soon be using AI technology to manage traffic on its roadways. The company No Traffic created the technology, which uses sensors to monitor traffic conditions at intersections. According to reports, the sensors will utilize cameras to see the intersection and radars to track speed and movement of drivers. Officials will conduct assessments to determine which Maryland intersections will get the sensors sometime in the next year. And a University of Maryland College Park alum has gifted $18 million to the school's athletic department and the Robert H. Smith School of Business. Stephen Shanwald of the class of 1977 is a marketing executive with the Chicago Bulls. $8 million of the funding will be directed to endow and provide scholarships for the school's sports management program. And the university will honor Shanwald's contributions with a suite named after him in the Xfinity Center. And now Simon Buggs is here with our Thursday sports page.
Hey, that's right, Mariah. We have a great week. We have a great week for college hoops, and I can't wait to show you the highlights. Don't move, sports fans. We'll be right back.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa, los hombres no lloran.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Are you a Maryland homeowner struggling to pay your mortgage or other housing-related bills due to the COVID-19 pandemic? The state of Maryland is offering free help through the Homeowner Assistance Fund. You may be eligible for financial assistance for past due mortgage payments, property taxes, home insurance, HOA fees, and more. You can even apply for help with emergency home repairs. Visit homeownerassistance.maryland.gov or call 833-676-0119 to learn more.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
Okay, sports fan, it's time for your favorite segment, your Thursday Sports Page. For our first story, we go to the world of college hoops. Roll the tape. The Owls look to get their 6th win of the season last night as they hosted Hagerstown Community College. In the first half, the Owls got on the board first as freshman forward Michael Osuji hop-stepped into the paint and had this great finish inside over a swarm of Hawk defenders. The first half was nip and tuck as neither team could really separate themselves from one another. And plays like this block from Lynn King, this turnaround jumper hit by guard Cassius Covington, this tray ball made by Nathan Iganagane, and Covington making another nice shot as he got into his Kareem Abdul-Jabbar bag with this sky hook, helped PGCC go into halftime only down 36-33. In the second half, Hagerstown lead got bigger with this mid-range jumper made by guard Tristan Cook, and this transition layup from DeAndre Mitchell, helping the Hawks jump out to a 45-37 lead at one point. The Owls tried to close the gap, but more missed shots, turnovers, and not being able to hit their free throws cost them. And PGCC ended up falling to Hagerstown, getting beat 76-66. The Owls are now 5-2 and will try to get back in the win column against Cecil College tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Now to some news on the gridiron. Some players officially became a part of the Terps family yesterday as multiple players have signed on to play in College Park. And one player in particular that put their name on the dotted line was 4-star QB Malik Washington. Washington currently attends Archbishop Spalding and is coming off of another dominant season, leading his team to their 3rd consecutive state championship. The 6'4", 215-pounder is ranked as the number 3 player in the state. I asked Washington what made him want to commit to Maryland, and he said that the way it felt when he visited them played a big part.
You know, it felt like home. I've been up to a bunch of games. I got a lot of familiar faces there, different things like that. And I always felt like it was a place I could see myself. You know, the coaching staff had been on me, you know, for a while. And it was just like, yeah, I can see myself doing this. And we started the whole thing, you know, getting the 25 guys to stay home. And now it's like we just want to keep building that brand, keep building it up and saying, like, yeah, like, we got a lot of talent in the DMV. It's like, if we all play together, like, who knows what we could be.
Another name that signed on to suit up for head coach Mike Loxley is 4-star running back Zamir Smith. Smith attends North Carolina High School in Ridgely and is the number 7 prospect in the state of Maryland. The 5'11" back had originally committed to Alabama before decommitting to play for the Terps. He also received offers from Boston College, Tennessee, Texas, and Georgia. Maryland also signed 4-star offensive lineman Jalen Gilchrist, 3-star tight end JT Taggart, and 4-star defensive lineman Bryce Jenkins as well. All 3 of these prospects are DMV natives. Meanwhile, the Terps men's basketball squad balled out in their Big Ten opener last night. The Terps took down Ohio State 83-59. Maryland will travel to Indiana to take on Purdue next on Sunday at noon. And finally, the Washington Wizards will host the Dallas Mavericks tonight. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. And that is your Thursday Sports Page.
That's right, and I'm going to be there cheering on my Dallas Mavericks, and they're going to beat the Wizards, so I'm looking forward to that.
I can't fight you on that.
But I wanted to ask, do you think it's important for those DMV athletes to stay here for their college careers and further than that?
Absolutely, Mariah. It is for a couple of reasons. One, because if you're a big-time athlete in this area and you go to these local schools like a Maryland, a UVA, Virginia Tech, you're showing people, not just people, but the next generation of DMV athletes that, hey, I don't have to go to these other schools like Alabama, Georgia. I can win in my own backyard and have success. At schools like Maryland, there are a pipeline for athletes, DMV athletes in particular, getting to the NFL. And also, from a family standpoint, if you go to a local school, it also gives your family more of opportunity to see you, as they don't have to go, across the country to see you. So it's great that this new wave of athletes is staying home, and I'm excited to see what they do in their colleges this fall. It's going to be exciting.
Thank you, Simon.
No problem.
Now let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. As mentioned, the DC metro and surrounding areas are under a wind advisory tonight. Tomorrow will be sunny with a high of 37 and with wind speeds up to 29 miles per hour. Saturday will be mostly sunny with a high of 41 and low of 26. And if you've been waiting to put up your outside holiday decorations, Sunday will be your best bet. It's going to be sunny with a high of 52. And for our community calendar, this Saturday, the Bowie State Gospel Choir is having their winter concert, A Gospel Christmas Continues. Come together with friends and family to experience the magic of the holiday season through the power of gospel music. This free concert is from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Fine and Performing Arts Center. For more information, contact 202-704-4920. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
Good night, everyone.